Hello everybody, we're back to our lovely Lola, our pink Cadillac Lola. She got a new name by one of our members. Thank you very much. So where we are today is yesterday I did top stitch her. It was nearly impossible for me to show you that because it requires a bag being turned inside out and then you're sewing basically inside the machine, and it was pitch black because of course I have a dark inside. So, but it's a fairly common technique to turn the bag inside out so that you're top stitching on the outer of the bag, and then you can see it much better, obviously. And I take extra care to keep pushing the lining down as I'm doing the top stitching so that you get a nice lining like such. You don't want the lining anywhere near the teeth because obviously then the bag won't close up. So what we're going to do now is just quickly, I'm going to show you. So the inside right now is we have this open area here, and it's time to close up the bag. The reason why we leave all this open now is because it's much easier to birth your bag through this big old area right here than through a small lining on the side of the bag, or even just through, I think the pattern suggests that we just birth it through about that much, which is the bottom. So that's still only about, 6 or so inches. Anyhow, this way you don't have to fight the bag. And trust me, this vinyl, as much as it's absolutely gorgeous, it is it's not that easy to turn because it is pretty thick. So my hands kind of hurt yesterday, but I got over it. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this down, and we have our zipper pocket, and inside there is, we never closed it, so we're going to pull the lining through this hole. Both the lining, both pieces, if we can get them in here. Sorry about that, I'll show you in a second. This is coming out. This is coming up. This is your two lining pieces coming through the pocket hole, the zipper pocket hole. Okay. It might try to fight you, but we always win. All right. So there we have that. All we're going to do is we're going to match up those seams, as always. Get our clips. You're just going to clip across. I do take a little bit larger than a 1/2 inch seam allowance when I sew these linings, just to keep the fit a little bit tauter than normal. So make sure you do the same thing when you sew the original other lining side. All right. So we have this nicely clipped. You can never use too many clips, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to pause this, but before I do that, I'm going to show you that once you sew this side here, then we're going to take out the sides over here, and we're going to box the sides just like we did our original pattern. So once it's sewn, this will all be together nicely, and then we're going to match the seams, and we're going to box. So we're going to, I should probably do it correctly, huh? We're going to match those seams and box both sides. So it's just like you did the outer seam. I only want to, first you got to sew this seam because it's not a center seam, it's a side seam. And then you will clip this, and you will, on both sides, and you're going to sew it. So I'm going to go do the seam at the sewing machine, and then I'm going to show you again how I clip these and sew those, and then we'll put it back in, and the bag will be done except for the straps. And I will show you how I do my straps. So be right back. So we're back to the sewing machine. I'm not sure if this angle is going to be useful or not, but it's a very small amount of sewing, so I'm going to try. So we're sewing up the two bottom linings together on the bottom edge, if you will, of course. And I'm doing about a 3/4 inch seam allowance. It's a little bit more than what it calls for, but we don't want a saggy bottom. Heaven forbid. See this. Go all the way to the end. It's a little awkward trying to pull it through that lining, the zipper pocket, but it's just temporary awkwardness, so hang in there. And we're going to back kick, and I need my scissors. Sorry about that. And then we're going to trim this because we don't want a bunch of excess bulk. And now, after this, we're going to box the sides of the lining. Pretty straightforward. Again, you're having to pull it through that little hole. I know it's a little bit awkward, but we can do it. So we know that this is, just kind of, oops, get rid of that. So this is your lining side, and you're going to just clip it. You're still sewing at a curved angle, curved if you will. So I do that a lot. I learned that now, hearing myself talk the last couple of days. I guess it could be worse things, huh? All right. So we have that in place, and we're just going to sew just like we did before. And do a little bit larger seam allowance. And we're sewing right across at an angle. And you probably can't see me, but you get the idea. Easy peasy. And we're going to trim this because I like to. And then we're going to come to the other side. We're doing the same thing. You might need to pull out a little bit more. Don't be afraid to tug and pull as you need to on your bag. It's not that fragile. I guess the most important thing is to not tug and pull when it's right near a zipper, stitch, seam, because even though you probably have reinforced them, we don't need to force those areas any more than we need to. Which is why we do a birthing through this one, which is Angela's method, and I'm sure hopefully she'll post it again, or at least every 6 months post it in CBM, because it's really fantastic and has saved a lot of people a lot of strain on their hands. All right, so we have her re-clipped again, and we're just sewing the same 3/4 inch going across at a little half moon shape, if you will. This I love my Juki because I can show you. I can do a single stitch at a time. You can really control it, which is super nice when you're trying to do something with some finesse, which a lot of bag making is. You also can go like a bat out of heck, as they say. So, now we're going to trim this side nicely. And now, with all the threads cut off, put into the garbage can, or in this case, onto the floor. Shh, don't tell anybody. Now you just shove all this back into the bag and give it a nice little tug. And you can see she's in there looking very pretty. You probably can't see much of anything, but just trust me, she's there. What we do next is pretty standard. Take the zipper pocket out, like we always do. You're gonna pop out those little corners. Go to your sewing machine and press it in 1/4 inch. Sew it up, and you're done with the inside of the bag. So we're gonna do the straps next. I hope this was helpful. I know the view was different, but I'm always trying some new things lately. But we'll muddle through together, huh? So, talk to you soon.